A very good morning, Kusile, Sanbonani. Welcome and thank you for tuning into your perfect recipe to start your day this Wednesday morning once again. It is the 14th of October, meaning that we are only 10 days away before Christmas and only 17 days before Singene Emnyakeni Lomusha. We are live and direct from our Hospital Hill studios and kumbuta nje ukuthi lihlelo lwethu kuleli viki lili hour kanti ke nasevikini lelitako litawuba li-hour nje kuphela. Umlingani wami ke Lungelele Magagula utawube alichuba evikini lelitako. Lamhla ehlelweni ke sitawujoyinwa nguFabrice Msonera njengoba sathi sonke ukuthi sesikuwo semi-finals FIFA World Cup lekuyindzaba ke lengidzaba mlonye nje emhlabeni wonke jikelele. It is probably the most interesting time yale FIFA World Cup tournament. Solo iqalile. Fabrice Msonera will join us at 7:30 to discuss a game yayitolo Croatia and Argentina and also look ahead at the next game le tawulandzela before singene kuma-finals ngalo lisonto. Singakachubeki kakhulu nelihlelo lethu ake sithathe nathi lechamuka ngephandle kwakuleli. Sitawuqala nganaye lechamuka lapha eveni lase-Slovenia lapho khona kuthiwa Slovenia 6 Angola support for UN Security Council non-permanent member seat. So again, the main events of the 10th summit of the Organization of African, Caribbean and Pacific States ended this week. Not Saturday as planned, with the departure of the Angolan president for another summit. Lekwe summit ke nanvunankulu wethu la kuyo lokuthiwa yi-USA Africa Summit lelapha eWashington DC. Sitayithola nje imibiko nathi letawusipha kabanti ukuthi kuchubekani njengoba sathi ukuthi imvunankulu wethu ulena siyathi ukuthi our editor in chief John Molele Gang has been reporting usikile nje wa highlight kancane ekutheni isummit iyaqala iqalile ke langeni layitolo. Sithemba nje ukuthi sitawuthola umbiko ngayo. Sisachubeka nayo ke yase-Slovenia. The Slovenian Deputy Prime Minister was present at the event in Luanda. During Tanja Fajon's first visit to Angola, the Slovenian head of diplomacy also spoke about cooperation with Africa. Utsiteke Slovenia is really increasing development. Utsike Slovenia siyanyusa nje tindzaba tentfutfuko and kusita lamanye emave lasevekatini le-Afrika netindzaba nje te-aid yema-humanitarian projects. Utsike batawusebenzisana kabanti kanye kanye in the field of protection on women and children's rights, emalungelo ebantfwana kanye nabomake. Utsike the Deputy Prime Minister of Slovenia ubekatshela betindzaba baka Euronews. The visit also served to build bridges and alliances for the country to get a non-permanent seat on the United Nations Security Council. In case of war on the European continent and many challenges such as climate change, energy or security risks, we will certainly be able and willing to listen to everyone and bring our positions as close as possible. Ake sibahlole emakethe nasibuya emakethe sitawuthatha tindzaba tetfu tekucala.
Sehlelweni lethi lithini libandla siyambonga uNkulunkulu ihlelo lize libuyele emoyeni.
Basically ngingathi nje empeleni yabona uNkulunkulu nakadala umhlaba including bantu.
Leti khathi leti tethenjisiwe mofundzi incwadi yaJohn chapter 16 verse number 33.
The way the gospel has been portrayed nayiletshwa la kubantu yabo yende ukuthi abantu babe offended.
Sikholwa futhi ukuthi sidaphinde siba nabo evikini lelitako sikhulumisa yona le ndzaba lesikhuluma ngayo emsakatweni wakho Eswatini TV sibuko semaswati.
Pay your TV license quickly and easily with MTN Momo. Simply dial *007 *3# and select option 8 for TV license. Enter your national ID number as your reference and the amount you wish to pay. Then enter your PIN to confirm your payment. Once your payment has been made, you'll receive a confirmation SMS of your payment. If you're a first-time payer, you get another SMS for your TV license. So legalize your entertainment from the comfort of your home. Pay your TV license the easy and convenient way with MTN Momo.
Everywhere you go, MTN. I do the most.
Watch local TV on the go with the Eswatini TV app for only 20 emalangeni per month. Do the most with Eswatini TV app. Download from Google Play Store or App Store. We're good together.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
Welcome back. Sibonge kuhlala nathi namhla elihlelweni it is 6 minutes after 7 ngesikhathi senyalo sithatha indzaba tethu tekucala. Lobambe kuba ngundvunankhulu Themba Masuku uthi hulumende uthi luhambe kahle luhlelo lwahulumende lokusita abagibeli kwekuthi bafike etindzaweni letahlukene kuleli ngemuva kwekuthi tincola letetfala sive tingabonakali emigwacweni. Masuku bekakhuluma emahhovisini etindvuna tembuso eMbabane lapho beketfula umbiko ngesimo lesikhona eveni lapho khona betincola letetfala sive bancome kubeka phansi ematomo elangeni langa lesibili langa lesithathu kuleli viki.
Lobambe kubangivunankhulu Themba Masuku ukuthi isimo sekubabede kwetincola letetfala sive kufana nesehlakalo ngakho uhulumende bekafanele kwenta tonke taba tekuthi sive sifinyelele etindzaweni letiniketa lusito kungako akhokhe emabhasi.
Sitawuchubeka kusasa kakhulu senyuse amandla kuze luchubeke lolusito luhlangabete tidzingo temaswati. Ngeke siyekele sive ngakhona kwenta tidzingo kufeza tidzingo taso sikhona singihulumende.
Uphindze wachaza kwekuthi ethiwe kanjani lamabhasi.
Lapha kuna fuel we state nge transport ye state le sita abantu la kufanele ukuthi baphile babe nama livelihoods.
Lobambe kubangivunankhulu ukuthi ngekubuka simo lesihle sibakhona eveni hulumende usebentela kwekuthi atfole tisombululo letikhonsako kulokwekuthi sive sihle sigodlelwa kwekuhamba. Etindzabeni teSwatini TV kubikanelisiwe Ndlangamandla kunambongwa Dube eMbabane.
Losabambe kuba ngivunankhulu Themba Masuku uvakashele esiteshi semabhasi eMbabane kuyobuka kuchubeka kumabhizinisi kanye nekuchubeka kwetincola letetfala sive ikakhulu leto letikhishwe nguhulumende. Masuku uphindze wavakashela nemabhizinisi lehlukene edolobheni eMbabane.
Losabambe kuba ngundvunankhulu Themba Masuku uvakashele indzawo yesiteshi semabhasi eMbabane lapho emukele sive lebesigibele emabhasi lakhishwe nguhulumende. Masuku uthi emabhasi atewengedwa ngalesithatfu.
Abantu abafuna kuya esibhedlela bakhona kuya esibhedlela bafuna kuyothenga bayakuyothenga njengalo ibona nje ifika igcwele ihambe behlisa endleleni baye la baya khona bese ke nyalo seyitawulungisela ubuyele emuva. Besibuka-ke ukuthi sidingo sekwengeta sikhona yini sidingo sekwengeta sitawuvela siredi naletinye timoto ukuthi njengeke sithi fake nyalo until kubonakale ukuthi siyakhula lesidingo siredi bantu nakusasa bavuke lamhla iphutile kucala ngoba sicabanga ukuthi lesivumelwano sethu sekuthi kutaba khona i-transport sitawusebenta kula lesivumelene nabo nasingasebenti-ke sase siyacala ngonje phutile lokucala lamabhasi ekuseni lo M17 ataba khona akanocala late njengalamhla. Kwesibili emapassport nje bawathatha nje nya amapassport lala behle emabhasini nala khona siyabonga ke ngoba kukhona labanye lesesibonile ukuthi tikhona letincola bayabona ukuthi bantu bafuna usizo.
Masuku ke uphindze waqinisekisa sive ukuthi sitawuphepha ngoba imibutho yetekuvikela ikanekise etindzaweni tonke telive. Etindzabeni kubika Sondomlangeni nginaThemba Shabangu eMbabane.
Bosomabhizinisi basedolobheni eMbabane batfole kwesekeleka emabhizinisi abo ngilosabambe kubangivunankhulu kanye netindvuna tembuso. Labosomabhizinisi bendlulise kujabula kwabo ngekuthi tindvuna titewubuka ukuthi emabhizinisi abo achuba njani.
Losabambe kuba ngivunankhulu Themba Masuku uvusele ebosomabhizinisi labancane labathengisa emakethe eMbabane wendlulela ke nasetitolo letifaka ekhatsi isitolo seShoprite isitolo se-Edgars kanye nesitolo sekudla i-Hungry Lion. Lo sabambe kuba ndvunankhulu bekasingetfwe tindvuna tembuso lekuyindvuna yelitiko letemtsetfo nemtsetfosisekelo Pholile Shakhantu kanye-ke nendvuna yelitiko letinkhundla nekutfutfukiswa kwato David Ncamphalala.
Nasihledi ngeke sibe nemali, ngeke sikhona ukuhlangabetana naleti zimo nato tonke letinkinga lesinato. Siyabonga-ke kuchamuka kwakhe minister.
Namhlanje ndikhanje sengisupportwa yi-Prime Minister, ngijabule kakhulu.
Siyabona ukuthi shothi ibhizinisi iyahamba and iyasikhathalela Prime Minister. Nalokuthi uyeta utosihlola ukuthi siphephile.
Titolo letinyenti taseMbabane betivulile ngaleSibili. Etindzabeni kubika Sondomlangeni nginaThemba Shabangwe eMbabane.
Hulumende somemetele ukuthi ukhiphe amabhasi latawuthwala sive lesiya emsebentini etibhedlela nalapho sive sidzinga kuya khona. Ngakusho kwalukhulumela hulumende Alpheus Nxumalo uthi sive lesitawudzinga kwekuhamba singashayela inombolo lethi 112. Nxumalo uthi linani lemabhasi lingahle likhule ngalesithathu.
Lamaswati lamaningi la outside kodwa ngoba lokufuna uku-understand we are dealing with an emergency situation here. I-emergency situation ke awukwati kuyibamba overall all at once. Vele hulumende utayibamba incrementally. Njengoba ngisho ukuthi sistabe sikayidwa ngelamaswati ke kusichane bekunene sikhona thine ngala sidinga kuhamba sifike la sifika khona bese hulumende kuyakwati kuwalekelela. Bobute kwekuthi njengoba isithe induna lomhla tonke tisebenti embuso bese emsebentini. Hulumende ngumuntu, hulumende ngemaswati. Kude lo tawufela kwekuthi uyendile imitamo wekufika emsebentini kwangafikeka. Ngiko na hulumende enda le measure la enda konyalo wekuthi lo ufuna kuya emsebentini abethe sizathu sokuthi akayingani. However akuqali kwendeka lokhu kude lo file nekwekuthi wetamile kufika emsebentini wadibana nema challenges latsite.
Indvuna yetemfundvo nekucecesha Lady Howard ithi basakhulumisana nelitiko letemabhizinisi nekutsengiselana ngekuthi kusitakale bafundzi labaphothula etikolweni temakhono. Indvuna ithi sebabonile ukuthi labafundzi bacetsa kufundza bahlale bamele kucashwa ngenxa yekweswelakala kwemali yekucala emabhizinisi. Indvuna beyikhuluma endlini yabayesikhulu ngeMsombuluko.
Lendzaba ingene endlini ngelilunga lePhalamende lenkundla yaseNzingeni Lutho Dlamini.
Minister aware ukuthi onke lama vocational centers now, the majority of them produce job seekers, not self-employed individuals, even though the training yekubenda ukuthi bakhone lokuthi qasha.
Does the ministry or minister seriously consider introducing a financial literacy at an early age?
Indvuna iyakubona yini lokuthi iqedza lo mdlandla kulaba labafundzako leka-TVET ngoba abakhoni lokwenta lama startup funds ukuthi baqhubeke nalo msebenzi labe bawenta.
Indvuna yetemfundvo nekucecesha Lady Howard iphendvulile.
There is a dream ukuthi ngalenye ilanga nathi sikhona ukukhicita abamfana athi nasekahamba abese so uyanikedwa ke le startup package akhona kuyoticalela be it loyo the basic machines or the startup capital, seed capital. Le TVET policy itasilekelela nayo yonke lemisebenzi leminye lesiyendako pertaining to i-TVET. Vele siqonzela kuthenini labantu babe independent aphume e-college ahambe aqale umsebenzi akhicite akhone ukuthi ashaye imarket. It does look like bamfana sibukana labo suicide and so on. Sakabanga lokuthi kuyafanele ukuthi ungathi from as early as primary school singafaka ema basic financial subjects.
Indvuna yengete ukuthi bayayibuka nendzaba yekumaketha tekufundzela emakhono kuze kuvele bumgcoka bako. Ndzabeni Eswatini TV kubika Themkosi Mavimbela nginambonga Dube ePhalamende.
Indvuna yetemafa Neil Reichenberg ithi tinyenti tintfo letifaka sandla ekutheni imali lekuthiwa ilahleka ngenxa yenkhohlakalo ibe linani lelisetulu. Indvuna ivete lokhu ngemuva kwembiko welikomidi lePhalamende lelibuka ekusebenta kwemali yembuso i-Public Accounts Committee lovete kwekuthi kulahleka tigidzi temali ngeminyaka ngenxa yenkhohlakalo.
Indvuna ithi lokunye lokubangela kwekuthi imali ilahleke ngalendlela kungalandzeleki kahle kwemigomo yekuthenga impahla yahulumende. Uthi kulesinye isikhathi ematiko athenga ngetulu kwelinani lelihleliwe lekuyintfo uhulumende layicaphele kakhulu.
I'm not at all saying that we don't have corruption or that corruption isn't there. It's something we need to work on constantly. We're constantly trying to close those gaps. The areas we're working on right now is e-procurement, for instance. So I think if we have an e-procurement system, that'll shut down a certain amount of doors that are possibly still open on the corruption front. What I'm highlighting here, and this is not necessarily corruption. So what the PAC report has revealed correctly is to say that there's elements of spending that's taking place outside of the proper spending parameters. There's elements of procurement that wasn't done correctly. There's elements of overspending on budgets. There's elements of spending where there wasn't budgets for the items. So many different reasons why rules were broken in spending. And that's what the main report is about. But it does not necessarily mean that all of that is corruption. Some of it is discipline needed to be able to follow the rules better.
Indvuna ithi uhulumende uyayisebenta indzaba yekwenta indlela yekuthenga ngetindlela tebuchwephesha i-procurement kute imali ingalahleki ngalendlela. Etindzabeni teSwatini TV kubika Nelsi Wendla ngamandla kunambongwa Dube yembabane.
Libandla lelibhalisa luhlolo lwangephandle i-Examinations Council of Eswatini selichubele embili kubhalwa kwemaphepha lebekufanele abhalwe ngalesibili nangalesithathu kuleli viki. Lamaphepha lawa bekufanele abhalwe bafundzi bemabanga aka grade 7, form 3 kanye na form 5. Lokho kuvakele ngemchumanisi waleli bandla nesive Hlengiwe Ndlovu.
Bafundzi bemabanga aka grade 7 kanye na form 3 bebabhekeke ukuthi babhale luhlolo lwabo ngalesibili kanye nangalesithathu. Lamaphepha lebe kubhekeke ukuthi bawabhale ngalesibili kanye nangalesithathu sekachujelwe kungalesine mhla ka 15 kule nyanga. Lamanye lamaphepha sekachujelwe kungalesihlanu kuleli viki kanye nangemsombuluko evikini lelitako. Mchumanisi waleli bandla nesive Hlengiwe Ndlovu uthi lokhu bakwende ngemuva kwekubuka simo lesikhona eveni. Ndlovu uthi babone ukuthi kukhona abafundzi labangeke bakhone kufika etikolweni bayobhala ngenxa yekubade kwetincola letethwala sive. Ndlovu ucele bothishela nhloko nebafundzi ukuthi banake lamalanga lamasha lasabekelwe kubhala. Emaphepha latsinzekile kulolu shintsho afaka ekhathi i-Additional Mathematics Paper 1, History Paper 1, History Paper 2, French Paper 2, Social Studies Paper 2, Practical Arts and Technology, English Language Paper 2 kanye ne-French Paper 1. Tindzabeni teSwatini TV kubika Themkosi Mavimbela nginambongwa Dube embabane.
Inkantolo ithi itawusikhipha ngalesine mhla ka 15 kule nyanga ukuthi iyamvumela indfakazi wembuso ukuthi afakaze ecaleni lelibhekene nabo bacede emabuza noMthandeni Dube. Lo fakazi ngilobhekeke ukuthi achaze ukuthi iPhalamende yavumelana ngani ngesikhathi ingene egumeni mhla ka 21 enyangeni yenhlaba eminyakeni lophelile. Umbuso bewufaka isicelo sekuthi ulethe lo fakazi njengoba beselengcile lithuba lawo lekuletha abofakazi kulendzaba.
Kulenzela ukuthi lilunga lePhalamende lenkundla yaseHosiya bacede emabuza lifakaze litshele inkantolo ukuthi emalunga ePhalamende avumelana ngesikhathi asegumeni ukuthi bantfu abachubeke bavunyelwe bamikise tikhalo tabo etinkundleni. Umbuso wabese ufaka sicelo enkantolo ukuthi ulethe fakazi lotakuphikisa lokhu. Lesicelo wasenda njengobe bese ucedzile kufaka abofakazi bawo umbuso sekulikema lebasolwa ukuthi balethe bakabo bofakazi. Namuhla kungilesibili umbuso utshele inkantolo ukuthi kuvumelekile ukuthi bangabuyisa fakazi nabanenchazelo lengiyo njengobe netincumo letathathwa inkantolo phambilini tiyakuvuma lokhu. Umbuso utshele inkantolo kunekuthi lo fakazi ubalulekile ukuthi abe khona kuze inkantolo itawukhona kuthola emaciniso alokwenteka ngesikhathi iPhalamende isegumeni. Umbuso wengetene ukuthi basolwa batawukhona kutibutela kulo fakazi ngaloku latabe akubekile enkantolo. Bameli bebasolwa basiphikisile lesicelo bathi umbuso bewade ukuthi lobufakazi lobu butawuba khona njengobe babufaka emaphepheni abo asenkantolo. Labameli batshele inkantolo nekuthi nalisolo lichubeka nekudvonsa lelicala labasolwa balahlekelwa yimali futhi bachubeka nekuhlala esitokisini. Inkantolo ibese iyayigucisa lendzaba yathi itawubuya nesijubo ngalesine mhla ka-15 iphindze ikhulume nendzaba yekutokela ngephandle kwebasolwa. Lendzaba isembi kwelijaji Mamsi Dlamini. Tindzabeni Eswatini TV kubika Themkosi Mavimbela enkantolo lenkulu.
Likomiti lelibukeka kusebenta kwelitiko letemfundvo endlini yetimphunga selibute inhlangano yabothishela SNAT kutsi icinisekise njani kutsi bafundzi abatsi kabedeki etikolweni ngesizatfu saletinye tintfo lenhlangano leseyitenda. Timphunga betikhuluma ngesikhatsi lenhlangano yetfula imivo yayo ngetincomo mayelana nemtsetfo we-Examination Council Bill.
Inhlangano yabothishela SNAT asitfole litfuba lekwetfula imibono mayelana nemtsetfo we-Examination Council Bill. Tindzaba-ke letivetiwe indzaba yesidzingo lesikhona sekunakekeleka kwebaphatsi betikolwa letincane. Timphunga-ke titsandze kwati kule nhlangano ukuthi umgomo wayo mbambambamba yini.
Ngesikhatsi phela nifuna kungayi kuyosebenta. Nikhone nabo ukubeva umufo wabo phela ukuthi nithini nini. Thina sesicabanga ukuthi singayi emsebentini ngoma umqashi wethu usigodlele lokho.
Ukuthi lokho ukhange teacher nje ordinary teacher nje. Angaliphatha esikolweni. Angayi esikolweni usuyambuthi umntwana ekhaya athi umntwana teacher bani abekho esikolweni. Abekho esikolweni teacher bani hawo uthi uya esikolweni ukhanze la headmaster nje ukuthi na headmaster nje akathanga abantu teacher bani mina angisani ngikhuluma izaba yakhe teacher bani. Ingabe sinathi khona ayakwende obese sive ukuthi la esikolweni tiyamenyetelwa leti sokuphase kakhulu top 10 masikolo. Awushaya isandla sonke. Kusike nabalaba ku top 10 labadonse zero ke lekugcineni sinathi khona la fika futhi sithishe uyangana abantwana bese kwanjela esikoleni noma bese uyabinza.
Mapalane wenhlangano yakaSNAT Lot Vilakati uphendvuleke nendzaba yetiteleka kutsi tibangwa yini.
Nathi asikuthokoteli kutoyitoya. Ngoba kuba nesyllabus lethi uze ucede kufuna ucale la ugcine la. Ngoba le exam njengoba siyichaza lesikhuluma ngayo la ayisethwa ngithi, ayisethwa na Ministry of Education. Isethwa kunabanye labaseceleni labakunika ukuthi lesikhathi esingakufuna ukucedzile.
Timphunga ticele kakhulu ukuthi le nhlangano ingatifaki etindzabeni letiphatselene nepolitiki. Etindzabeni kubika Sondomlangeni naThemba Shabangu ePhalamende.
Umchumanisi wesive nemaphoyisa aphindile Vilakati uthi betekuphepha njengoba bebaganekise even lonke bakhonile ke kugcina kuthula kwavikeleka sive kanye nempahla. Vilakati uphindze wabika ngengoti leyentekile ebhansi yasemaphoyiseni lebeyitfutsa sive.
Kunyalo nje timoto setivele tibamekisile bantu emuva labe bachamuke khona. Siyathemba ukuthi bonke abantu baphephile. Siyachubeka nekugcizelela ukuthi loyo longadzinga lisito noma lodzinga kwekuhamba la angakhona khona angayithinta inombolo leku-112 noma-ke kunesahlakalo lesibonako noma losisolako endzaweni la ukhona khona ungayishayela leyo nombolo. Kwendekile-ke ukuthi nyalo ntsambama ibhasi yamaphoyisa lebeyisemsebentini nayo ihamba ibheka ngasespiki yathola ingoti khanze kokuthi nayijika likona nje yakhanza kunemoto leseyivele igcwele ehlangothini la beyihamba ngakhona. Bobabili-ke nakathi uzama kubaleka loyo mshayeli kwakhanzakala ukuthi vele ibhasi seyidudane washayisana-ke ulimele umshayeli. Siyathemba ukuthi uNkulunkulu tasendela umusa alulame. Laba-ke lebe bagibele yona ibhasi nala lobekahamba naye umshayeli basinzile noma babengoti makhata. Sithemba ukuthi batawululama labo labathinzekile ngandlela thide. Nekuchubeka-ke sigcizelele siveni ukuthi vele lokulina kanjena litulu kuyavama ukuthi kwenteke tingoti. Asihambe ngekucaphela kuto tonke tindzawo. Sifisela wonke umuntu ukuphepha nakusasa nakulamanye amalanga singemaphoyisa sitawusolo sikhona. Sithi kuphepha kwenu kuphepha kwethu.
Mengameli wenhlangano yemidlalo wekubhukusha kuleli Herman Jele uthi inhlambi letingenele imidlalo yeFINA Swimming Championships setithembisa kudimisela ikakhulukati kwakha umlandvo lomusha emidlalweni wekubhukusha lapha eVeni. Leti nhlambi nguSimanga Dlamini, Cameron Jele kanye naRaya Young. Le midlalo icale namuhla kanti kubhekeke ukuthi iphele ngelisonto kuleli viki khona eVeni lase-Australia.
I'm happy to report at this point that, certainly the guys are showing good indications of getting over the jet lag and that they are preparing their minds and their bodies now for competition. So we are trying to work with the guys to best prepare them. I know that it hasn't been too easy. The flight to Melbourne has been a long, arduous flight, but I think the guys are basically at a point now where they're well rested, they've done their final preparations, and tomorrow is competition day. Thank you, and please keep our athletes in your minds, and whichever way you can support, please do, and just root for them.
Mengameli wenhlangano yemidlalo we-taekwondo lapha eVeni Zakhele Dlamini sawutfumise badlali balomdlalo labatfole imendlela deligolide letisihlanu emidlalweni yema-Region 5 lebeyibanjelwe eVeni laseMalawi kule nyanga laseTulu. Labadlali batfola imendlela letine emidlalweni leyabanjelwe eVeni laseLesotho ngeminyaka wa-2021. Dlamini uthi batali balabantfana badlala indzima lenkhulu ekubasiteni ukuthi baphumelele.
We had 4 gold medals from Lesotho, Maseru. Now from Lilongwe, Malawi, we got 5 gold medals. Anyway, bese badlali abang 5 bafike bavele bahlaba ngeskozwana. Siyajabula kakhulu. Angithanda ukubonga mina ucala ngabatali, batali basupporte kakhulu. Labantwana laba basebancane banabo 15, 14 years. Kusete nje longanga 16 years lapha basupporte kakhulu batali ekuthenini labantwana babe available for ukuthi bajime balungiselele baphindze bahambe bayodlala. Sibonga kakhulu batali Nkosi yami, chubekani nisupport labantwana abasibheke ukuthi kuma-anoka region ama-anoka latako kulomnyaka lotako sitawususa nje. That is Africa Youth Games. Baphinze bahlabana ngaphandle kwesupport yenu batali ngeke sibe nako lokho.
Ngaleyo ndzaba-ke siyadephetha tindzaba tethu tekucala talomuhla sibahlole etimakethe nasibuya sitawubuka letinye nje tindzaba letichamuka ngaphandle kwakuleli kanti-ke nensatheli yemsakato yetemidlalo Fabrice Msonera utasijoyina kukhulumisa nje tindzaba te-FIFA World Cup.
Why should we pay our TV license?
The content on our local television is actually more up to date. The industry is enhanced.
It is a criminal offense not to pay your TV license and attracts a fine of 500 emalangeni or 6 months imprisonment.
And the industry is definitely blooming, ladies and gentlemen. So that's what we have for you. But we'll be right back just after the break and we'll give you more of Miss V.
Pay my TV license. That's why I can enjoy the benefits of an enhanced industry and keep track with recent transformation.
Mommy, who paid for a TV license and what are they paying for?
The owners of TV set and a gadget with a tuner like DVD set have to pay.
Pay your TV license at NetBank with the details provided on screen. Or use your cell phone via the mobile money pay. You could also visit your nearest post office and pay there. Pay your TV license via Eswatini Mobile Imali. Any TV device retailer can purchase a license to trade. Pay your TV license and enhance the industry.
Hey yo, this is DJ Cybers.
What's up guys, King J's here.
My name is Kripo Intellectual.
What's up everybody, my name is SK.
Hey guys, this is your girl Z.
This Weekend Eswatini has been such an amazing show. For all the years, they've always supported all the local talent and all the local shows.
Catch This Weekend Eswatini every Fridays.
It's one of the best entertainment shows Eswatini.
So guys, you know what? This is the best show to have. Like, if you watch Swazi TV and you're a person who actually enjoys watching like musical shows that have a lot of content, that have good stuff, This Weekend Eswatini is your show.
For all the good vibes, all the good energy, make sure you tune in to This Weekend Eswatini every Friday from 5:30 to 6:30. I'll say it again, from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m.
A 1-hour fun-filled train of entertainment. We are taking you from 5:30 all the way to 6:30 every Friday, live on Eswatini TV.
And yes, of course, we are your #1 entertainment show in the kingdom of Eswatini. But you can interact with us on our social media platforms. We are at This Weekend Eswatini on Facebook, Twitter, and on Instagram. Lalela Tina will definitely get back to you. This is your official weekend party starter.
I don't wanna go around singing songs that people don't. I do the most.
Watch local TV on the go with the Eswatini TV app for only 20 emalangeni. Come on. Do the most with Eswatini TV app. Download from Google Play Store or App Store. We're good together.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. It is 23 minutes after 7. It is 33 minutes after 7 lomhla ekuseni ake sithathe indaba tethu eqhamuka ngaphandle kwakuleli. Siqale lapha eveni lase-Britain lapho khona a teenager has been cleared of cancer after a revolutionary new treatment for leukemia. Ligama lale treatment ke libitwa nge-base editing and it involves genetically engineering a patient's DNA. Bodokotela ke bathi ke it is a success, that is a breakthrough, but ke it could be used to treat a wide range of other diseases. Sinembiko.
The teenager at the center of a medical breakthrough. After all conventional treatments failed, doctors feared Alyssa's leukemia was incurable. With few options left, Alyssa volunteered to be the first patient to undergo an experimental treatment known as base editing. The cutting-edge procedure involves genetically engineering new immune cells that hunt down the cancerous ones. 6 months on, the cancer is no longer detectable in Alyssa's body.
It is extremely exciting. Obviously this is a new field in medicine, and it's fascinating that we can redirect the immune system to fight cancer.
Doctors say this treatment only scratches the surface of what base editing could achieve. They believe the technology could help fight a wide range of diseases.
I know that I've helped other children as well, that other children might be able to get cured because of the research that I've been part in. All these
Alyssa is still being monitored just in case the cancer returns.
Africa, the South African Parliament has voted against starting impeachment proceedings against President Cyril Ramaphosa over a report that says he held undeclared foreign currency at his farm in 2020. But vote 214 to 148 against the move to impeach Ramaphosa. Nadine Theron, uyachaza kabanzi.
Only 4 out of more than 200 ANC members of parliament voted for the adoption of a report and subsequent impeachment process to proceed against President Cyril Ramaphosa. However, 51% of parliament's members had to vote for this decision, and with only around 130 members of the opposition, the vote failed, and Ramaphosa is staying in his current position for now. Just like the ANC's majority seats help them to keep former President Zuma from being impeached. Last week, the ANC's National Executive Committee advised their members not to vote for the adoption of the report since it is on legal review. That's because President Cyril Ramaphosa challenged the report in the country's highest court, the Constitutional Court. During a debate just before the vote, Justice Minister Ronald Lamola said the party decided to vote against the reports on legal reasons and that they will hold President Cyril Ramaphosa accountable for his alleged actions. In the meantime, preparations are underway for the ANC's National Elective Conference in Johannesburg. This weekend at the conference, Ramaphosa will face a vote by his own party's members when they decide who will be the next leader.
Kanzi-ke kuleti qhamuka eveni lase-Ukraine, snow and ice have arrived in Borodyanka, lokudolobha lelincane near Kyiv, which has become a symbol of Ukrainian resistance to Russian bombing. It is with the weapon of cold weather that Russia tries to submit to Ukraine. The Russian bombardments deprive the inhabitants of heating, water and electricity.
On the outskirts of Kyiv lies Borodyanka, a town that has been ravaged by Russian shelling over the past 10 months. But now, in the depths of winter, the shells are not the only adversary. Freezing temperatures combined with an energy infrastructure that has been consistently targeted by Russian strikes mean that the cold weather brings a very serious threat to those who live there. Many residents fled the town in the face of the Russian bombs. For those who stayed, they are lucky to get just a few hours of electricity a day.
Best case scenario, we have electricity for 4 hours a day. But yesterday, for example, there was another Russian raid and the blackout lasted much longer.
Local authorities have installed what they call invincibility points, large tents equipped with a wood stove where it is possible to find heat, electricity and the internet.
People come here to work, you can also do homework with the children and plug in your phone to charge.
But for many that's not enough. And with temperatures set to plummet even further, some are worried about how they will manage the cold without electricity.
It's already difficult, and if it gets to -10 or even -20 and there's no electricity, I don't know what we'll do. I can't even imagine. We'll freeze to death.
In the past 2 months, at least 40% of Ukraine's energy infrastructure has been demolished, destroyed by deliberately targeted Russian strikes across the country.
Ngaleyo ndzaba yase-Ukraine ke ngwanelo muhle siyatephetsa tindzaba tethu letiqhamuka ngaphandle kwakuleli sitawubahlola etimakethe kodwa singaka etimakethe kukhumbuta nje ukuthi our in-house journalist Fabrice Musonera, sports journalist, will be joining us kusitshela nje ukuthi engabe vele kuna i-France letabe idlala ne-Morocco lamuhla ubona yena ukuthi nguyiphi letawuhlangana na Lionel Messi lo qualifyile elangeni la itolo. Asibahlole etimakethe.
Watch local TV on the go with the Eswatini TV app for only 20 emalangeni per month. Do the most with Eswatini TV app. Download from Google Play Store or App Store.
We're good together. Everywhere you go, MTN.
Welcome back. Sibonge qhubeka nihlale nathi elihlelweni njengoba ke besishilo ukuthi Fabrice Musonera walapha ekhaya ke is joining us kusichazela kabanti ngeFIFA World Cup leqhubekako njengoba we are at a stage where it is probably the most interesting stage of the FIFA World Cup. Fabrice, a very good morning. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
It's a very good morning, Sfiso, and I think for the viewer and those who are following the 2022 FIFA World Cup. What a tournament's been so far.
Of course. I just want us to go back to yesterday's game. We saw Argentina taking on Croatia, which was a battle between Leo Messi and Luka Modric, who, by the way, started playing together in the year 2006, I believe, Fabrice. What has been your highlight on that game? Argentina won, of course.
I think Messi, I think I'm trying to say, when coming to this game, he knew what is expected of him. I mean, I think prior to yesterday's game, there were information that, there were certain, information coming from Argentina in one of the capital city that you know, they're actually praying that he does something on the day they need him. Actually, his jersey was flying over the city of one of the cities in Argentina, showing that they needed him. And he came to the party. If you look at what he did yesterday, and I think at the age of 35, he has now one of the players to have played more World Cup games, 25 World Cup games in his career. And we're talking about taking the team to the sixth, you know, final of a World Cup. So it was magical. You look at also the penalty he scored. You look at that, you know, run that he made for the third goal. You look at his involvement in the game, which I think basically he was the man of the match. So he came to the party, and there's no argument about that. He's taken to the team now for the sixth final of the FIFA World Cup. But on those 6 occasions, they've only won it on two occasions, in 1978 and in 1986 when they hosted it. So can they actually do this time around a change and take the trophy to the Southern America? Because the last time a team from South America won the World Cup was back in 2002.
That's a long time
over
ago.
20 years. Yes, that's Brazil. So the rest has been the Europeans. So there's a huge chance for him to do that, and he knows that if he is maybe to be one of the best player of the history, if he is to be the GOAT, and maybe stop the argument between him and Cristiano Ronaldo, he needs to win this, because in his cardboard it's the only trophy that is missing. In the Cristiano Ronaldo's cardboard is the World Cup that is missing. So yesterday's game and Sunday's game that he's going to play, it's very key to him. Remember, he reached the final in 2014 when the tournament was played in Brazil. So he knows...
They lost to Germany, I believe.
To Germany. So he knows what about playing in the final. You know, Otamendi, who was played yesterday, was also there in 2014. So he would recall that. So I think coming to Sunday's game, he cannot wait to see who is going to face. But for me, if they face France, it's tricky.
It's tricky. I want us to go back. Messi, I believe his 4th or 5th man of the match this tournament. He has the most now. And he has also equaled Mbappe with regards to who is leading the tournament. Am I correct?
Yeah, I think you're right, because now they've got 5. He's got 5 goals. And Mbappe is yet to play today. But they are in a tug because there are 5 goals. But another fact that we forgot to mention, that he is the only player now, Messi, to score and assist in 3 World Cup games consecutively. And no one else has done it, because if you remember, even the previous game, he assisted and he scored against the Netherlands. He did the same thing against Australia. So he is the first player to do that, assist and score in the same game in the finals of the World Cup.
That is interesting, because I was also reading another fact that he leads with assists ever since the World Cup started tracking assists.
Top assist in the FIFA World Cup.
That is wild. That is a beautiful stat for him, and he's having quite the tournament, Fabrice. I want us to talk about Luka Modric as just, you know, a great player himself, and appreciate his greatness. What can you say about Luka Modric? Their run as Croatia, obviously they've been winning through penalties, but for them to reach this stage of the tournament and actually give Argentina a run for their money, because you will agree with me, Fabrice, the first 15 to 10 minutes of the game, they were kind of dominating possession.
No one was giving them actually a chance to reach the semi-final. If you look at how they played in 2018, you look at some of the key players that are not there, including the likes of Rakitic, coming to this year's tournament, you would think maybe they can make it into the last 16. And maybe their road ends there. But if you look at their performance against in the Brazil and yesterday, in as much as they were defeated, but they had moments. For a player like Modric, at the age of 37. I think for the World Cup he's only left 1 game, because I think people are now misunderstanding it. Croatia is not going home yet, because they have to play, they call it, some say call it the final losers. Or losers final anyway.
So they're playing for 3rd place.
Place, basically, So he still has a World Cup game to play. And he would want his country to reach that medal, to get that bronze medal. Remember, they got silver medal in the previous World Cup, credits of being the 2nd in the tournament. Now they're going to play the 3rd place. So he's been fantastic. He's been fantastic. I think, for me, if you look at some of the best number 10s we've had in the history of football, he is one of the best. He's won the Golden Ball. He is a good player for Real Madrid. He's won everything with Real Madrid. He was only left with this World Cup. Yes, he hasn't won the Euros, but he wanted this achievement. So I think for the World Cup, he's done, because by the time they come back in 2026, Canada and USA, where the tournament will be held, he's going to be 41. Questions are, can Messi be back? Messi actually can be back, because he will be 39.
Yeah.
We saw Dani Alves coming for Brazil. He was 39. So Messi can play his sixth World Cup, if it's possible. But for Modric, maybe you can talk about the Euros. He can come back maybe for the Euros. He'll be 39, because he also he's still playing for Real Madrid. So you would think maybe he can still play. But what a player he's been. But for me, I think if things are to carry on like this, there will be a chance that on the last day of the tournament, we can have 2 top scorers, and maybe at some point I have a problem to see who's going to be the players of the tournament, player of the tournament, because for me now you have to look at Mbappe and Messi, the 2 players, top scorers and teammates, and they have got a chance to both be top players of the tournament. But that Argentinian goalkeeper, Martinez, I think him and is it Rama? Yes, of Morocco. He has never conceded a goal in this tournament, except the only goal he conceded, which is an own goal. Otherwise, he has not conceded a goal in open
from the
game.
opposition.
Yeah, from the opposition. Martinez has also only got defeated once when he's playing for Argentina. It's that game against Saudi Arabia when they started the tournament.
First game.
So you understand what the dilemma is.
And I remember, Fabrice, you were telling people that you cannot let that game define the fate for Argentina. And you reminded people, I remember outside we were talking, that you reminded them that Spain, before they won that World Cup, they actually lost their first game.
The last team to win the World Cup, having lost the first game, was Spain in 2010.
Yeah.
So it does not really count much to say how were you playing in the group stages.
Yeah.
Because some countries have found a secret that because when you go to the tournament like World Cup, there's no time for preparations. So they grew with the tournament. Because if you look at the partnership of Enzo Fernandez, De Paul, and Paredes, the way they just distribute the ball, and they've got Alvarez at the front. And Acuna, I think it's fantastic.
Speaking of Alvarez, I want us to discuss the goals from yesterday, the 3 goals from yesterday. But firstly, let's start with the most controversial one, the first one, the penalty. Was that a penalty? Was that a foul on Alvarez? Because personally, I thought it was a foul. And I was looking at Peter, I was watching Peter Walton yesterday, the former referee. He's probably the only reference that they go to when they want to hear insight on such incidences. He also said it was a penalty.
It's a penalty.
Yeah, can you tell us why it was a penalty?
It's a penalty. I wish we had the assistance of visuals, but maybe if they can try to get visuals, they can give us. But if you remember the goalkeeper, the way he came and Alvarez had the ball, so he tried to keep the ball behind on his side. And then there was contact between the goalkeeper, Lukovic, and Alvarez.
Yeah.
And had at least Alvarez touched, the goalkeeper touched the ball. The goalkeeper did not touch the ball. The goalkeeper touched the player. And the player, most of the time in that 18 area, a penalty is counted in that way. When you go for the ball and you don't get the ball, you get the player, it's a penalty. The keeper did not touch the ball. Had he touched the ball, we could be talking about a different story, but he touched the player, and that's obviously a penalty.
Yeah.
And the ball was still in play.
Of course.
Yes, so it's fantastic. Had he at least got the player, but also be able maybe to touch the ball.
So tell me, if the goalkeeper was the first person to touch the ball, if the goalkeeper touched the ball before Alvarez, there was going to be a foul on Alvarez.
What was going to happen is
because
that
the collision was going to be there.
His collision was also to be there, but it was going to be like it's a save. Because when he touches the ball, it sounds like it's a save. Plus, another rule that you have to look at in football is that he was the last man standing, yes, but he's a goalkeeper, yes. But the goalkeeper did not touch the ball. Yes. So which makes sense that maybe he failed maybe to get that on a point. And I think that's why if you look at Lovren, he did not argue much because he knew that that is supposed to be a foul. Now that is a penalty. And the finish for Messi, I think, top class. Top, very rich penalty, experience, no pressure. They were talking about a stadium, Luciana Stadium, 80,000 capacity, close to 55,000 Argentinian in the stadium, no pressure. They knew that it's going to finish that one.
Yes, I saw some of the fans, some of the Argentinian fans were actually crying tears of joy after he scored that penalty. It was such an emotional period there. But Fabrice, you are speaking of brilliance from Messi. I think when I was watching the reviews from yesterday's game, everyone was hailing that assist that he made for Alvarez, where he just ran and dribbled and was just showing his skill really, and then he just tapped it over for Alvarez. Was that for you the most brilliant moment for him in the game?
I think if you look at the game against Netherlands,
yeah,
he did something similar to that when he gave the ball to Molina and he scored. He did the same thing against Croatia yesterday. It's when now you get a reminder that it's Messi. He still has that caliber and talent to show you what he's capable of. And he's not a person who's going to dribble so much and do so much on the ball. He takes you one side, he brings you one side. Once you're not sure where you want to go, he ropes himself in. So that's the typical Messi we know. He takes the ball, he moves forward. And him being a left-footed player, his height is very short. So it's very hard to get the ball from him, because the moment you're trying to connect him and try to get the ball, you're going to push him into the penalty area and he's going to get a penalty. So at some point you have to be able to treat him carefully. So I think that was the brilliance of the moment. Because 2-0, 60 minutes, you could stay maybe with some of the surprises we've seen in this World Cup, maybe Croatia can get themselves back into this game. One penalty and then they put pressure, you would think so. But that Messi brilliance to make it 3, and I think it was the moment. And for Alvarez, Alvarez was actually hoping, this is another fact maybe for the viewer that didn't know that, Alvarez was hoping that he could get a 3rd goal and have a hat-trick, which was going to be the hat-trick, the first ever hat-trick since Pele in 1958.
Wow.
When Pele did it in 1958 in the semi-finals.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah, he was only a teenager then. So you would think that maybe Alvarez was supposed to be also the first player to do that since Pele in 1958, to score a hat-trick in a semi-final of the FIFA World Cup. So the coach actually, Lionel Scalano, decided to replace him and brought in Dybala. Dybala, a player I think we're going to see in the final. I think he came to the tournament injured. These are some of the things that I was saying in the tournament, that you know that when you bring a player and during the announcement of your squad, a player is injured, but you don't take him out of the squad, because there is a hope that as the tournament grows, you will need him. We saw something similar to Messi, because the reports, to Sadio Mane, reports are saying such and such player is out of the tournament. Because when they say you're out of the tournament, they are looking at the first 3 games of the group stages, which means you won't be making it. But can the team make it to the last 60? Probably if Senegal was to play now, there will be chances of saying Mane could return.
Mane could play.
Because if you look at the team list that you submit to FIFA for the World Cup, your name is there. So even if Dybala doesn't play the entire tournament, fortunately he played yesterday, and then they win the tournament, he was going to get a medal because he is part of the squad. So he's back, and you look at his partnership with Messi and Di Maria. So I'm thinking even for the final,
Di Maria,
who sits on the bench, because I've been impressed with what Enzo Fernandez and the Paul are doing so far in that midfield, and they've got Paredes next to them. So I'm so much impressed, which gives Messi, he's not really a player that drops back, but it gives Messi a chance to be free at the front with the likes of Alvarez and Acuna.
Just briefly, Di Maria has been playing beautifully in the very small minutes that he's afforded this World Cup. Do you think that's a tactical move to save him for the finals, or he is not as fit to play for a whole 60, 70 or 90 minutes?
I think when you have a player of Di Maria's caliber, you have also to, you engage him. He knows with his experience, he played the 2010 World Cup, he played the 2014, 2018 and 2020. He knows age is on his side. He knows what he can bring, his speed and runs. It's only limited maybe for 40 minutes or 50. So he cannot give you that for 90 minutes.
Do we see him starting in the final?
He could start.
I think so too.
He could start because big stages require big players. When you need
experience.
Experience. So he can come maybe do your 60 minutes, then 30 minutes later comes in another player, your Acuna, anyone. But he could start. And for a coach to also put him on the bench and you don't see any negative reaction from Di Maria, it tells you that he understands the game, he understands the tactic of the coach. He understands that edge is not inside. Some of the upcoming young players should play, and he understands that if given a chance, he can deliver.
Okay, now Messi and Di Maria are going to rest and probably, watch film and watch Croatia, watch Morocco and France today and probably study their tactics. As they go to do that, we see a France that beat England and qualified for their 7th semi-final in the FIFA World Cup, facing off this Moroccan team that has been making history. Fabrice, it's a game that we'll broadcast today on Eswatini TV. The whole world is looking at that game. I want to hear your sentiments around that game.
Quick one. Remember, Brazil has won the tournament 5 times.
Yeah.
The only teams to win it 4 times is Germany and Italy. They're not in the tournament. They are followed now by 2 teams who have won it on 2 occasions. That is France and Argentina. So both of them want to jump and now win 3 times. I'm confident. I'm confident France will beat Morocco.
Yeah.
But I'm skeptical. I'm worried that we might see a surprise today.
Yeah.
Morocco is capable of anything. And another thing you should understand, there's an interchange of players. There's a squad of Morocco. We've talked about 4 to 5 players who play in France. So we might see a surprise. Ask me tomorrow. We might see a surprise.
I'll hold you to that, Fabrice. I will be talking to you again tomorrow after watching this game together today. Well, that was Fabrice Sonera just giving us a highlight of the game between Argentina and Croatia yesterday, and also just focusing on today's game, which is France versus Morocco. Will France reach the finals yet again, or will Morocco continue to make history and reach the finals and face off against Lionel Messi and his squad? We will see. It is 59 minutes after 7. Thank you so much for joining us. Namhla ehlelweni yasibona nekusasa. Nisale kahle.